this is always a touchy subject. We hear from men who are in long-term relationships and stuff like that. So we know that most married men will tell you that the longer the relationship goes on, the less sex you get. It seems as if we have a challenge, right? I hear married men the world over complaining, they say the loving don't happen as much as they would like it. We understand the challenges and stuff like that. But Grim, if you check this first post I sent you, Neil, it says in Ghana, denying your spouse sex has been classified as a criminal offense.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, so it bad. It bad in Ghana. Look, we got to do something what they say and I put it into legislation. Shoot, we calling for legislation for maternity fraud. The men carry a step further than want legislation for sex. Can't deny the men, right? But it's gone so far, it even made one of my favorite shows, Tonight's Conversation.
Jeez.
So let's hear this lady has to say on Tonight's Conversation, and then we can come back and we will have a conversation.
What do you do if you feel like your spouse is weaponizing the Bible to have sex if you deny it?
For a person to use the Bible for a coercive reason screams loud about the spirit that's operating in them. Because Jesus Christ never had to coerce anybody. And I think what we fail to realize, especially in marriage, because it happens a lot, people take away the humanity that's in a person. You are a woman. I'm sure you're not just denying it for no reason. You may be going through all kinds of things. It may be your hormones. It may be your emotions. You may not feel secure. You may not feel stable. You may not feel safe for any of those reasons. And we're talking about your husband. He should be able to understand that. The most you can do is tell you that I don't want it. If he battles with whatever he battles with, you can't allow him to use the scripture against you, because the God that I serve, the God that I know, would fully understand the reason why I'm saying no. And if you serve the same God that I serve, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, if we serve that same God, then you know how God is. God is patient. God is understanding. He is kind. He is compassionate. For you to be coercive, you are not displaying what we're supposed to as humans as the direct image of God.
Yes, my husband is here.
Come on, honey. Get up to the microphone real quick.
So we don't spend a lot of time together. So the time that we do have together, I like to utilize it. When we get time, hear me out.
I like that word.
When we in bed together, we don't get to see each other throughout the week. I want to have sex with you. You're my wife. I'm going to pursue you. When you deny me, I feel like I don't want to give you my all no more. It's a man. It's just us. We're programmed to do that.
As men, and this can be something we need to work on, but a lot of times the way we receive affection and validation, a lot of times the most vulnerable you will see a man is during sex. This is where he gets to connect with you. And when that is not given, a man feels a sense of rejection. It can almost be like to what you were saying. What in the relationship isn't you doing or aren't you doing to make her want to have sex with you? We know that we are results-based, and sometimes when you're not getting that from your spouse, you feel like you're not doing a good job as a man. And so I think when we marginalize it just to the activity of sex and not what it means to a lot of men, especially black men. And then another thing he said, we're gone a lot. And so I'm not getting that touch. And then when I get to you, I get it. You're tired. Now let that breathe. But it's like the things you are doing, you're not able to give me your best self. And if the shoe was on the other foot, if a man was too tired to provide, or too tired to shepherd, or too tired to be a great father, then it would be an issue. And you would be like, he's picking that job over me.
Well, look at his metaphor.
Look at his metaphor, man. Look at his metaphor. Let me hear your thoughts, my brother. Because what I love about this particular conversation in Tonight's Conversation is that we were able to hear from both sides of the story in real time. We heard the woman, she presented her case, then the man presented his case. We also heard two responses from both Katie and Ace Metaphor, both representing each side of the argument. So these men, we here to represent the men. But let me hear your take on this particular one.
This is very interesting for me, right? Because anybody that's getting married and thinking that you getting sex at the same clip you was getting when you was single, either out there.
That now go happen. That will never happen. You will never live to see that happen.
When you are in a situation and you're single and you're seeing this person like a few times a week, every time you see them, it is hands-on. It's action time. When you domesticate now, that starts to diminish. And then when you get married now, over time, people change, etc. No, I'm not saying I advocating for no sex in marriage. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that a man's wants, needs, and desires should be ignored within the realm of sex. I'm not saying within the context of relationship. I'm not saying that, but I just want you all to understand the reality of it, right? When you get married, and I'm not telling me to say ever since, I'm not telling me to say about near 25 years ago, I'm not telling me, boy, don't get married, boy. You get married. Just prepare yourself to not get sex at the same clip. Having said that, I see my thoughts somewhere in between Kitty and Ace Metaphor, right? I do agree with Kitty in that you can't use the Bible to coerce anybody to do anything, right? If your spirit is to use it for coercion, that's a problem, right?
Right.
If I come to beat you over the head with the Bible just so I could get what you want.
No, Neil, because I know you so well, right?
Mm.
You would say that. And that's the last thing that I sent you before we actually started recording this thing, right? Because the Bible actually does talk about that, So we look at 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 3 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
It says, the marriage bed must be a place of mutuality. The husband seeking to satisfy his wife, the wife seeking to satisfy her husband. Marriage is not a place to stand up for your rights. Big up Bob Marley. Marriage is a decision to serve the other, whether in bed or not. Abstaining from sex is permissible for a period of time if you both agree to it, and if it's for the purposes of prayer and fasting, but only for such times, then come back together again. Satan has an ingenious way of tempting us when we least expect it. So that's just to put the biblical context on that. So when she's saying that the man is using the Bible to coerce her, and the personality that he saw there, I mean, people, because, front and thing, but his personality doesn't seem like that. And based on his explanation, it didn't seem like that's what he's trying to do. But yeah, you go ahead. I just wanted to provide a little bit of context for you, my brother.
And I appreciate that because it made me think of something. I can get to that. But taking what Kitty said for what Kitty said, I agree with what Kitty said, right? Don't use the Bible for coercion. However, as you said, the gentleman doesn't present as that. Obviously, we don't know these people past the little conversation. What they present. But Ace Metaphor did hit the nail on the head in that men must have touch, right? Men just do a lot of touch. Man can't just pass the woman. Right, man's got a party woman and give you a little touch, do something, play if she like packs a little touch behind or gives you a kick, something, right? A hug, something like that. And men seek validation through the physical, through sex, through intimacy. A man is most vulnerable when he has sex, when he has, he's like that. I think that foregoing sex, holding out sex, deciding I just don't feel like being intimate, unless you're communicating this with your partner. You can't just decide, nah, I want it tonight. Nah, no, not tonight. And 3 weeks later, 2 months later, whatever. You find yourself not being able to have intimacy or anything like that. I don't know if it will go as far as say that not having sex, you put it into legislator. I don't know if it will go so far, but
good news, man. Very extra mile.
Out that side of the world, that man to step certain things pretty serious.
They may not play.
Nah, they may not play. But I think conversations need to be had, right? If something is going on with the woman, if she's feeling disconnected, if she's feeling unsafe, if she's not feeling well, whatever she is feeling that is not allowing her to be in a space to have sex and be receptive to having intimacy with her husband, then that should be a conversation between her and the husband, not the husband going through guesswork, risking all the time, and the woman just saying nothing's a rest. You will not pass, like Gandalf. It got to be something where there's a communication, stuff like that. No, I'll say this because I know some women do it. Abstaining from sex as a form of punishment. No, that is a problem. That
straight up.
Nah, that is folly. That is nonsense. I understand women need to feel safe, secure. They need to feel connected. I understand all of that. But then you have to find, it can't just be, we need to feel connected. I don't feel safe. I don't feel connected. I don't feel all these things. And you're not open and receptive to doing certain things to be connected and do certain things.
As you say, Ace Metaphor kind of hit the nail on the head for me. And a lot of men feel it. And it's strange because when I was about 16 years old, I worked a summer job. And some man said to me, boy, when you live with a woman, you just want you all the time. And I couldn't understand it until obviously when they became an adult and started, having relationships with women, like in close proximity to them, all that stuff. We as men, that physical contact, seeing them all the time and stuff like that. And we were talking about this in the chat maybe yesterday or the day before. We as men, when we like a woman and we fall in love with a woman, we see that woman, whatever caught our eye, that is the image we have of that woman. From now until we done. So that could be 15, 20 years down the line. We always see that woman as the most beautiful thing in the world to we. She ain't put on like 100 pounds. We will always see she could put on even 30, 40. We still see that woman in the beginning stages. And as such, the desire is always there, but in a way heightened because we interact and we live together, we share the same space together. I hear what the guy said too. He's the away a lot. We connect physically. We as men connect physically. And I don't want the women to feel I just telling you the 5 women that watch the show this is. I just telling you to Hannah, or it's not that. That's not what I'm saying. But guess what? It's not a one-way thing. I think you should be getting some kind of connection with the man as well. As A said, is when women are most vulnerable. Delilah was doing something. Go ahead in that. Tell me how you use your strength and thing. Now you hate telling yourself, man, this is what you're gonna do. Because ease. Yeah, easy. And ladies, trust me, if you willing to connect like that, you will find that the other things get smooth out a little bit easier. But as me say no, it tends to come over as a punishment. Where it's like, all right, you ain't killed the garbage, so you know what I mean? Nothing's at rest. You wash the car, so you know what I mean? Nothing's at rest. Things I ain't even got nothing to do with man. So women at work offset you, nothing's at rest for you, husband, at home. You know what I mean? So I know this is a touchy subject, and the Ghanaians went the extra mile to this year lockers of people, but we need to find a middle ground because they may understand more often than not that being God watch some rom-coms, being God good. This is an ignorant thought that we ain't really want to hear anything about. We understand we will have to make some sacrifices to do something or endure some things that we don't want to. But we can do it with a smile. Guess what? Fuck, we love you. And a lot of men don't want much. I sure the man, in the comment section here for this one. I sure the man would agree with me. Right? Don't play shy, man. Be brave, be bold. Come in the comment section and say, yeah, man, if we're telling the truth. Men just want to say, what it means, so you take peace and peace.
Peace and peace. Peace and peace.
Men complaining about this, but we just kind of not deal with this topic, right? Mama said it ain't fair. Because the men, as far as they're concerned, they don't ask you for much. Right? Because the modern day man is not saying you're gonna cook and clean it here or hang and shear. Modern day men are not doing that. Modern day men are cooking and cleaning, probably not to the same. They don't want to be bold and say that the sharing, the cooking and cleaning duty, household duties, 50-50 with the women. But we know the men still paying the bills. We know the men still carrying them up on dates. We know that men still pulling up their end of the couch. So the one that make the women out and say, man, oh dear, you know what I'm saying, Terry, but you let 5 minutes here.
Oh, let's squeeze it here a minute.
You do want to squeeze pooch, can't you, break off a little saying for money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think conversations need to be had. I think that, and let me be clear, right? Because I know that it could be situations where the man wants to voice his displeasure in the lack of intimacy or sex, and the wife like, oh, you always wanted no, don't make the man feel no that just because he wants sex, the man's a deviant or a pervert or anything like that.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Right?
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
One of his sermons says that one of the first need for a man is sex, not a want, a need.
Yeah.
First need.
Yeah.
We got a choice in this, women. We like, maybe today, maybe not tomorrow. Nah, we need to have it. So the 6 women that are listening to the show, please, break off your partner a little something. And the men that are watching the show, if you're brave enough, share it with me, have a discussion with women. you could put the blame on me. Say that the boy head man say that you should give me a little bit or something. But I'll take away because the longer it goes, they don't the turn they don't turn around. You are literally making a road for monkey to ramp on, as we used to say on the show, right? You're inviting the devil into your home.
Right. And I'm glad you right. So that was what I didn't think of, didn't connect the dots, right? Like you obviously know that if you ain't getting it at home, you ain't get it somewhere from the streets, right? But in the context of the Bible, yes, the devil will tempt you. And I know some women will say, oh, you can't control yourself, this and that and next. Ladies, the same way if you can't get your emotional safety, security, if you can't get certain things that you want from home, you can seek it outside. What you think they got word husbands? There's got word husbands, there's got, oh, this friend, they're my friend. I get out my friend. I talk my friend. And again, just like how you would communicate to your husband, look, I don't feel emotionally safe. You don't ever listen to me. You don't do this. You don't do that. I feel like you're not paying attention to me or whatever. The same way all those things happen is the same way the man just want you to hold it and squeeze it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Listen, as a good rule of thumb, right? I didn't know every man is different, right? Every man is different. Everybody got a number per week. What I think you and your wife should do, or your significant other should do, is you should both have a number, have a conversation. Like, my number is X, your number is Y. I'm find the average there, find the median there.
We can meet in middle.
And we can meet in the middle. So if your number, as for men, is 5, every word there, just like a job. I clock in, clock out, right? I punch in and punch out in more ways than one. And the woman saying, well, I good with 2 times a week. Yeah, take the difference. That's 3.5, right? That's 3.5. That's like a 3 times on a little wiggle there, you know?
Yeah. A little hand job.
Yeah, a little wiggle there, you know? There ain't wrong with that, but you gotta split the difference though. What or a number that you just not going below. Like if you say as a man, if you first things first, we may want at least 1 time a week. Right? Please. Some may want 2, some may say 3, but a man again at 0 a week. Man ain't doing
that. That's pressure. That is pressure. Because then you invite ladies, what we call the warm more man. Right? Your man becomes the warm more man. Your man becomes the man that's be like, man, let me drink one more rum before we go home. Maybe play one more hand before we go home. You know, one more drink, you know.
Man in a car park in a dorm mall or something like that, watching movies till he know you sleeping.
No, I had planned to do this as a short episode, but unfortunately, this here dovetailing into something else.
Oh dear.
So we can take the little segue and we can go forward, right?
Okay.
What we can do is we can play this one video here, so we can watch this video and then we can dovetail into the next topic and we can make this a little longer than they had anticipated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want the ladies to hear from a woman. Because you don't believe me. If you don't want to believe me, don't believe me, don't believe Neil. That this is, as it may say, it ain't fair. But this is how we process when the rejection comes time and time again. This is how men see it. And this is a woman telling us. So let me have a watch this video, guys, and we can come back and we can go into the next part of this short.
All right. Someone asked me, what do you think it would sound like if someone was brutally honest about removing sex from their marriage just because they're disinterested? Well, I think you would hear shit like, hey, I know that sex and intimacy is a big deal for you and that we've always used this as a way to stay connected, have children, bond, show love and affection, but I don't want it anymore. I don't want to maintain it and I really cannot be bothered. It's not medical or anything. I just don't want to. I don't want to touch you anymore. And I don't want you to touch me. No more sex. But I don't want you to go outside and get it either. We're not opening the marriage because, well, then you'll meet somebody who's not going to give up on you and you're going to want that. And you're going to see that I soft quit the marriage and then you're going to want to leave. And then I'm going to lose all my comfort. And I'm okay with you losing your comfort, but I don't want to lose any of mine. So we're not going to have sex within the relationship, and you're definitely not going outside of the relationship because then you're going to know that you deserve better. You at least deserve somebody who doesn't give up on you. So no, I'm actually just going to breadcrumb you along with false hope and then shame you with embarrassment into submission until you just stop talking about it. And by the time your mental health, deteriorates into depression and that, you're not going to want to do anything either. And after more years, you'll have invested so much of your life and time and efforts, you're not going to go anywhere anyway. That's why I don't think you hear the honest answer as to why sex is being removed.
So she hit on a lot of things there, and I think she touched on the part of it that we didn't even go into, because she's saying they don't want you to step out because then you recognize that the grass, is in fact greener. That's essentially what she's saying. That you go and you realize that there are people out there who have not given up on you on the relationship, and are willing to treat you a certain particular kind of way, and they don't want that. So that is why it's taken off the table. It's almost as if it's a weaponized kind of situation. But I'm approaching this in good faith. I don't want to say that.
Mhm.
Right? So Neil, what we gonna do? Because we talk about the one more man and all that there, and we know, Neil, we know there have been men who just say want to go home. So let me let me watch this other video here. We got two videos. We watch the second one first, and then we come back to the other one.
When you go outside and you deal with your homeboys and stuff like that, the reason why it's so fun and enjoyable to you is because they're not asking follow-up questions. They're not saying, hey, bro, are you good? Like, let's talk about it. Like, let's dissect this. Like, they're not doing that. So, of course, that's more fun to you because you don't have to actually deal with any of the stuff that you are struggling with. You're running. You're a runner. You're a track star. That's what you're doing. You just want to run away when it gets hard.
It's not that our boys don't ask follow-up questions per se. I think it's that our boys don't judge us for what we bring to them, right? Or take it personal, what we bring to them. I think oftentimes women in relationships forget who the man is that is talking to them when we bring up these grievances, right? So if I bring up, hypothetically speaking, if I bring up a grievance in which you're the culprit, most women are going to take that personal, and they're going to get very, very, very defensive.
Maybe.
You understand? Instead of understanding the source, understanding where it's coming from. This is not a stranger on the street that's telling you what you need to fix. This is not somebody that you just met one time at the job, a coworker or whatever, telling you what you need to work on. This is the man that loves you more than anything in this world. This is the man that's taking care of you. This is the man that's showing up for your son or showing up for your daughter or, helping your mom out when she need this or your grandma out when she need that. This is that man, right? But instead of you processing it that way, that this is somebody that loves me, that's saying these things, you process it as if I'm somebody that's trying to attack you, right? And with our friends, that's not what we're getting.
Boy,
Yeah.
that is interesting because Derek, we are told as men to not comment on women and what they do and how they move about things because we just can't understand, right? Which is, we could have a separate discussion about that. But when it comes to men and what we do and how we move and what is perceived, it is almost like they comment on things they think they understand. So when men get together, if everybody is friends and they're boys and they have each other's best interests at heart, many men get together, we are going to do our own way of saying, are you good? Are you fine? Or whatever. So
Correct.
for example, in our group chat, a man will come with a grievance. It could be something about work. It could be something about women. It could be, I feel off, man. This is whatever. And the man go hold space for them, right?
Correct.
If you're friends long enough or you understand your friends well enough, you can know when it is a serious something. And they say it's just a kicksy thing. And you allow the man to say his piece. And you allow the man to be vulnerable. And as men, we would then problem solve and come to a solution from it, right? And then after all of that, kumbaya, it's Batman, different place, right? But that guy had a point. The guy in the red cap, he has a point, right? Because one, men understand men. So if I come to my guy friends with a particular problem, which oftentimes than not, it has to do with a woman. If I come with my man and say, no, man, tell me if I freaking out here. XYZ, ABC, bum, bum, bum. And the man will give their honest opinion. It's not going to be, oh, you right, she wrong. Man said, nah, you could have handled that a little different or whatever, right?
I had one of them. I want to shot myself.
Exactly, right? You can handle it.
You're a little grim there.
Yeah, you're a little dark, right? Men will approach this from the mindset, the perception, and the understanding of men. And I know Derek in a previous space would have said, do not carry certain problems to a woman, because then she can see you as this man like up to this, and correct. Then that could, the lack of respect, and men big on respect, once a woman realizes that I got a crack in the armor, you know, that could get kind of dicey. If a man comes to a woman and the man says, listen, I got this problem, I got the issue or whatever. Yes, the woman could be a sounding board. Yes, she can be someone that can help you come to a resolution, right? But to say or to see men going out with men as, oh, that man just going on drinks and look at women and
That's inaccurate.
call each other gay and thought bear junk. No. One thing I like about my friends group, right? And this is obviously Derek, we got our group chat, but there's another group chat I made with some very close friends, with some guys that I went to school with and stuff like that. And those guys and you guys, whenever we are together in a space, especially because we don't see each other regularly. So when we get in a space, we see each other. You remember Kicks, right? Remember Kicks? You see that game last night? He was about him, man. Remember joke, right? But then in the quiet moments, he'd be like, so how's everything, man? Your son good? How you coping with work? You know, you look a bit stressed with, you know, everything good. And there will be a space to talk. There are so many times, Derek, we would have had shoot. We even started having Senate limes for this same purpose, right?
Correct.
The men would get together, and that extended from our friends group into other men that would come. The men would come, some men would bring a drink, right? A man would bear the soul, and we would comment on it and say, that's a little hard or whatever, especially if it is something that really is moving the man, something that really on the man chest, right? So I can't agree with that. I think what women need to understand, and just like how men are supposed to understand, men talking to men about their problems or how they interact with each other is going to be far different than a man interacting with a woman, especially if that woman is his significant other. Because this ain't, as the man was saying, this ain't just some random woman that you talking to, you know, this is your woman that you got to lay down next to when you done. So when you done say, man, look, I don't like how you this boom, 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 ABC, and she can take it personal, as inevitably all women do. I'm sorry, ladies. I know y'all tell me don't generalize, but when they can take it to heart, when they can start to get defensive, I'm telling you, the best of y'all will get defensive. And then it's going to be this kind of unease thing, and you got to go back and forth and try to make this work out. And then you got to go sleep next to each other. So that's like you driving down the road, you cut off a man cut you off, sorry, you get the man the finger, tell you about your mother. And then when they get you stop late, he next to you. You know that? You got to roll it even there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The man
What do you want to get?
yeah, what was that you were saying? What was that? You land on the bed, that's the woman. The woman there like, she don't let me cooking chicken dry. I was like, a little awkward, right? So there are spaces and places and times when men will go to their women to speak on certain things, right? And I'll be honest and say, men and boyfriends, husbands, significant others, the men should really, in certain matters, talk to their women about it, particularly things like, yeah, I ain't getting enough sex, I don't feel emotionally or physically safe. Those types of things you need to have conversations with your woman, right? Because going to your boys and saying, well, my woman don't give me enough sex, the man can give you two options. You can either get tell she about it or you could count your streets with you. Either which way.
But here's the thing, right? That particular situation, right? Especially if we realize in our group chat the other day that most of us married, right?
Yeah.
So for a man to come in chat and say that, everybody be like, hey. You get it.
That's
We
the cost of
understand.
admission. Yeah.
We understand. So something like that is not particularly far-fetched, right? But to your point, Neil, I do feel the challenge may have is when you talk to your boys, my guy Marcus Wiley, comedian, right? He said men are very bottom line. Talk to your boys, how we can solve this problem. That's all we really trying to figure out.
That's
We
right.
ain't like pretty details. What's your problem? How we can solve it.
Mhm.
That's it. And we can do that as men. We can relate as men. With women, always all the other pretty details and stuff like that. That don't really drill down to how we can resolve the problem, because it can go off in a tangent to, yeah, but you want X, but I had Y. As you say, it can become a personal thing. It can feel like an attack. So men withdraw. And when they withdraw, Neil, it looks like this guy. We talked about the Warmore man. Let's hear this guy.
I'm sitting here sick and worried. And this man is sitting in this car. Really? 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 Seriously? Seriously? Why are you sleeping in the car?
Huh?
Why are you sleeping in the car?
I need some rest.
So why wouldn't you come inside?
Because I can't rest in here.
Is your life that terrible that you need to be in the car?
Pause, Neil.
Don't get it.
Let me bring the ladies up to speed on game, right?
Don't get it.
The woman asked, well, you can't come in house. Man said, it cannot rest in there. This man sleeping in the car, no? But he cannot rest in his house. And then she asked him, Neil, is your life so terrible that you got to come over here and see your car? Are we saying, Neil? Not a mumbling word. That man ain't all picky teeth to say nothing. You know why he ain't all picky teeth to say nothing, Neil? Because yes, life is that bad that man prefer to sleep in the car.
Yeah.
Than to get inside. He sleep in the car outside his house.
Outside
before
his
he
house.
sleep in the bed.
Yep.
Go ahead,
yep.
brother.
Right. Ladies, Derek told free game, right? This one free. When your man has battled the world and he comes home and he spends a few minutes or an hour or so in the car, that is the only moment he will have a moment to himself. That's it. That's it. And you may say, oh, but it's so bad, as the woman asked. Well, it may not be so bad, but it ain't so good neither. Because
It's bad.
right, when the man come and say no, because and again, Derek, I talking things. Sorry, ladies, but I got out the thing. Most women are the same in that for them, the emotional connection, there's one talk. Is that's how they want to connect. They want to talk about the day, what's going on. Men, you just want a moment. You want a moment. Now imagine you go to work, you drive to work. So you're in traffic, you dealing with driving to work, you get to work, you got to deal with all that comes with it. If you're in a managerial position, all that comes with it. Then you got to get off work. You got to drive home now through traffic and what's not. And then you got to go home. When you go inside, let's say the woman is extra pleasant. Hi, babe, how you doing? How's your day? How's everything like that there? You want something to eat? Let's have a conversation. Let's watch something. Let me tell you about my day. I can't get a minute. And that is not bad, but the man has not gotten a moment to just be with himself. And then if you throw children into the mix, no, that's a whole different other thing, right? Daddy's home, daddy, right? And that's best case scenario. Ladies, you got to understand, when a man processes things differently to you. So yes, when you come home, you're happy to see him. You want to chat. You want to reconnect in a verbal way, emotional way, etc. But you got to get our man a minute. You got to get our man. Some days, your mom might go to take a shower. Your mom might go to watch a little bit of basketball, play a little video games. Mom might go to have a strong beverage, right? But that man need a minute. When you had a rough day, a day where it seems that the whole universe conspiring to just get down for you, you say, just come home and you don't want to talk. You don't want to hear a lot of nothing. You really just want to come home and de-stress in your way. For some men, peace and peace. Watch it like this, right? As much as men like sex, right? Men love sex. We just talked not 10 minutes ago about how men love sex. When a man is in the space that he just need PEACE, man, look, you will go be throwing the greatest. Yeah, you gotta be sending that corn, that prawn. You gotta be coming with the real action, because that man is in a mental space where he just needs to. Because men compartmentalize very well. He needs to. That bit of compartmentalizing, he need to put in that space and that section. It takes a little bit. There's a lot. So he just got to sift through it and put it there. So this man here laying down in his car, some say it's a skit, some say it's real or whatever, but
yeah. But because I heard that as well, right? People say it was a skit, but Neil, skit or not?
There's a man right now. As we speak. And that man is in a bar. The man is in his car. Man somewhere saying, 5 more minutes, boy.
One more.
5 more minutes. She getting sleep at 11, so I can tough this out till.
I can wait it out.
Tough this out till 11:15. and I want to be clear, ladies, that's the best case scenario. That's everything going well in the marriage. Now, if you're a contentious woman, and you're a woman that's pick at everything, like this woman here that come out and say, you think so bad? And this even goes back to the two people in red, the lady in red that was saying, you know, when you talk to you come and talk to your wife or whatever, and the man say, you can take it personal. This is it.
Yeah. Because she came out and say, seriously? And she was saying that. She was just saying she was worried, but then come and bust the door. Seriously?
So your life so bad? Your life so bad? You see where it going to? So no, my mom want a little peace. I know he woman thinking, this man don't love his life.
Let's go forward, because we got more. Let me go forward a little more.
Why don't you come inside? For an hour you've been out here? You've been out here for an hour?
It looks like it. I just need to rest.
Do you want me to bring you something?
Peace and quiet.
Come inside, baby.
No.
Come on.
No. Just close the door, please. Just close the door.
Well, I'm gonna come and sit next to you.
Oh.
Did you just lock the door? Open the door. Open the door.
Yo! Alarm on.
Oh, tell you, man. I come and sit next to you, I said, no.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I want that action.
Yeah. That's a man that just need, ladies, when a man is in that space, you give him the space he needs. You understand? And if it does every evening thing, every evening he coming home, he's that, then
Therapy. Find the counselor. Because you're in a bad space. Because the reality is, we know the intersex in this. So to come back to the original point of this episode, the intersex in this relationship. That man don't want to be raunchy.
Yeah, raunchy.
That man don't even want to be raunchy. That man's like, you know what? I can sleep in my car. What is scripture saying? Better to live on the corner of a rooftop
and live in the same
house with a contentious woman. Right? And the way that man responded when she asked, is it that bad? My man said no. But sorry, he didn't say anything. And it was loud as a cannon that the man said nothing. Then she said, I will come and sit beside you. My man said, no. She asked Neil, can I get you anything?
I said no. Peace and quiet. Peace and quiet. But you see now. But listen, and ladies, more free game for you. More free game. The man is telling you. When I say that we don't communicate at all. The tell me that we don't communicate, we don't talk, we don't whatever. The man said what he wanted. And what did she do? She did not say, very well, I'm going to the house. She said, no, I'm going to come and sit next to you. Ladies, I understand. If this was your girlfriend, if this was your sister, she would want somebody to sit down next to her and, you cry it out, talk it out, whatever. No, man, process it different.
It's your girlfriend.
No,
it's your girlfriend.
The man want peace and quiet. So you sitting out in the car, he is not going to get that. Because even if you say nothing, if you somehow can manage to say nothing, you know what? That man can't just breathe. That man can't just...
If that man want fart in that car and be cool with it,
can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. If he snore, he can't do it. If it's called, he know, after a certain time, she'd be like, you sure you still want to be here? Oh, Jesus Christ. Jeez. Like, just the man want peace and quiet. That's all. That's it.
Give me a little ease. And again, it shows how easy it is to please you. Peace and peace.
Peace and peace. P-E-A-C-E.
So easy.
And we always say P-E-A-C-E before P-I-E-C-E.
Because that man ain't even coming in the house, Jack. That man ain't even going in the house to get the peace. The P-I-E-C-E. He don't want that part. Give me P-E-A-C-E. That's not to say, because the Ghanaians, again, put it in legislation. We a lot with it from the dinner with husbands, right? Well, this is spouse, so that could go either way, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to do a better job of trying to make the relationships work. Ladies just want kindness and care and just want this, that, and etc. Literally, men just want peace and peace.
And that man is not getting, watch. Men want peace, and respect. That man getting none of it there.
None.
Because she would not respect the man's desire for
I said,
PEACE.
Lord, just give a little easy here. I will come and sit there and say, no. Like Doris. Like Doris. Boss. Ain't that hard. Ladies, it's in this in that hard. This in I know it's here, but the hormones and all that there, it's in that hard. Right? You want them because guess what? Hormones are not tired or not. Men just got together and make it work. Make sure the bills paid, etc. They don't want much. Little sex, little peace and quiet. We meet one another halfway and needs to split the difference. Sports has been another Senate chart. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to ensure you don't miss any of the content we got coming for you. Please, I want to see you in the comment section for this one for real. We can see you guys again soon. Peace.
It's a contaminated environment. And the tutus about that.
Don't move. Before you go, right? I can say you something.
The video for the woman them we have the big fat buff in her house and I want to run it on the man them. Tell me now when you take up a man and when a man ready for grind, you know, tell man about so when tired. I want to can't manage and him love grind too much. When you think the man come for hurt for waste or crutches come for hurt for waste time. We are here today and gone tomorrow. Run out the buff on the man them. Stay ready for the man. Always stay ready. And if you can't manage a man, allow the man to go out and road and use up him tool. All you have to tell him is to use protection. As long as you're in a house with a man and I turn the man away from the meat, yeah man, allow the man not too unfair. Make the man go out the road. But do what you want to do and come back. When you free up the buff, man, run the buff. Not see if the buff will come go room near me to no dead and gone. Run the buff.